North America, baby! The Anti-Clowning Association, aka Team Europe, against Team ReGen. It's a best of 5 in Division S North America, and it is Battlefield of Eternity. Our first map, it's Playday number 1, and over to the left side, Varian, played by Dude Abides, Kelsey on Greymane, got Filth on Liming. My tip would be to get a cleaning lady. Quantum on Ana, and my pal Vince on ETC. Over to the right side of the map, Porky on Oriel, Lupus on Uberak, Carbon on Alarak. We have Troy on Vala, and Funz on Thrall. Alrighty, let's go. First game here, and well, either war gets chosen immediately on the side of Liming. Now, as I said before, this is... get wrecked! Super quick kill here. First blood is already in. Nicely done here, but that was a little bit quicker than expected. So Liming already checking. Jaina, Vala. In my head, I just read it through all the female characters and the Heroes of the Storm, and I missed every single one of them. Last place, finally, we have Vala coming in. So all of a sudden, Vala down. That's how the game starts. I mean, she's already back to business, so we're good to go. I love the synergy between the skin and the horse. There's at least some. But in comes the counter approach against Ana, and Ana nearly goes down. They're going straight in for the granny, but she's able to survive. And instead, we have Liming attempting to turn things around here with the help of ETC. Nuberg is already at the front. And as I was about to say earlier, this is Division S in North America. The season has also just started there, so we're still on the first play day. For all of these teams, it is literally the first match that they're playing here. With this, we also, now looking at the setup, have an arrow build for Vala, Echo of Elements for Thrall. He's sitting at the top lane against Varian, so he's playing the one-on-one here. Block party for ETC, as they're going up against Alarak, Thrall, and Vala. And Varian already starting things off with the overpower. And we can be pretty sure that in this level of play we're going to get to see Taunt. Again, it is like the best talent on the hero. Especially when you can coordinate with other damage dealers, which is exactly what they're going to try and do here. Got Filth. Well, he got a bit unlucky because he nearly landed another kill against Vala, but couldn't quite get the last hit in. With Calamity, that wouldn't have been a problem, but of course we're not there just yet. We're still on level 3 for the time being. One-on-one lane, still have not contested. Nobody's really moving in for any rotation topside to try and claim a camp. That said, nobody's really going for any camps anyways. I mean, there's a couple of pings on the map, but nobody has really made a move yet. Finally, we're going to see something happening here as the Khazras get attacked. And Vala, she's a girl on a mission. Look at that. She's determined. She's a strong and independent woman as she goes for the Shaman camp. Well, maybe not all that independent because she still needs a strong Protoss at her side as Alarak comes in and helps out because that Shaman camp was a little bit too tough. This one, they actually let go, and instead we have the rotation over to the left side as the blue team decides that it's time to get their own Shaman camp here. So all of these Khazra camps have been left alone completely at the beginning of this match. With the first objective already spawning, it seems like at least the bot lane is getting pressured a bit more. Oh. The bug report is in, and they were trying to finally fix it, but he gets away. Even that little sneaky attempt of Greymane wasn't enough to deliver the final blow. We have Taunt though. Taunt is in. Varian picks the best talent that you can possibly take on level 4. Again, reason why it has been exclusively picked in the higher level play for years now. If Varian is chosen at all, that is, of course. Got Filth with the Triumvirate version in his build on the map. Still expect Calamity, though, to be taken on level 7. Ana is a little bit alone, though. And, yep, she is not the quickest anymore. So, if you leave the granny alone, then you can't complain about the granny dying. So, in this case, it was a quick setup and the first kill for the red team as they are getting one in. Team ReGen so far, with 1 kill on their own, and now Vala can of course start to use Monster Hunter to drop that objective a little bit quicker. At the top, Toy Soldier is moving in too. Varian is trying to set something up. Yes, they're going for ETC. There's the slide, there's the taunt, the play for Nuberak, not quite through. Halftime show has been hit by the blue team. They're actually slightly ahead here, and Liming is firing away. Still one of the best heroes that you can pick on Battlefield of Eternity. But of course, Vala is getting that aggression in as well as Thrall. And both of them are trying to work on it. That's not the only thing they're working on. We see ETC and Ana going down. Oriel, the counter kill is in. Damn, son, this game is already up to quite a few kills. I mean, we have 5 in right now, and there's a lot of action on the map as both teams are looking for the first objective. Nearly a stun into the Immortal stun, but due to bites on his Varian is able to walk out of it. And again, Alarak barely making it out of there, but the red team wins the Immortal. They claim it. They actually take it. They lose the halftime show, and then they turn it around, so now they have the first push through the bottom of the map. Calamity is now in on level 7 for the Anti-Clown Association's Li Ming. We also have Second Wind, plus also the Repeating Arrow. Well, Thrall is still working on his own quest, by the way. He has the Frostwolf Pact on level 4. Oh my god, and he actually went into follow through. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that is still horrible talent choice there. No Ancestral Wrath. I'm actually at this point in a position where I would say that was a misclick. I can't really see a reason to go for that. Now, to actually give him the benefit of the doubt there, if you go for follow through, then at least make sure that you have an Echo of Elements built together with it, which is the case here. But follow through is still never going to get you the sell value as Ancestral Wrath, for example, does. That's just not going to happen. Yeah, Rich, Snitch, there's maybe a couple of players that have the mechanics for that, but in a normal game on this level, you're never going to get the same value out of that. So yeah, that is more than a bit of a surprise to me here. That is either a misclick or not really well thought out. The kill against Alarak, on the other hand, that worked really well for the blue team, and the Anti-Clown Association is now all of a sudden in a position where they not only defended against the Immortal, but they also grabbed another kill, which gives them a little bit more map control, and with that they can take the camp totally uncontested, no problem there. We still have that top lane Thrall against Varian, where Thrall, thanks to the self-sustain and everything else that he has, pushes this in a little bit harder. But generally speaking, the fort itself shouldn't be under any real pressure anytime soon. So, with that said, bot lane, that's where most of the action is currently happening, but Greymane is currently thinking about visiting the top, apparently. Yeah, Ana moves in too, so there's several heroes that are starting to sneak away, and now it's just a question of whether or not Thrall is playing this safe. Yeah, Varian wants to come in. Where's the taunt when you need it? And did not quite hit the mark there. So the entire setup that we're trying to use doesn't really work out. They don't have level 10 abilities yet, so that's another thing that we have to point out here. Since great things like Curse Bullet or Go for the Throat are still missing. And the red team has taken the opportunity to push the bot lane even harder and therefore take a lot of the HP off the opponent's fort and nearly taking it completely apart. Another attempt on a Nubarak, and he still survives. Like, that bug just can't be squashed. He's honestly like that cockroach that you just can't kill. He's always coming back. And Nubarak is just unkillable, apparently. Like, they have huge trouble locking him down. There were so many times where he barely escaped, but he makes it out of harm's way every single time that they go for that move. Now again, the aggression against the blue team's Immortal, with Vala in particular, of course, trying to go for the double arrow or time after time. Greymane jumps on against Oriel, gets the whip, but there's the kill against Li Ming. Mosh pit into the Immortal stun, and they still can't kill the bug. Or can they finally? That might be their chance, and finally he's down. 2 for 1, didn't even get the chance to get his cocoon up, but he's already resurrected. I told you, cockroach. You kill one and there's another 2 spawning. So it's exactly the same thing that's happening on the red team side here. Lucas comes back after just a second thanks to Oriel. Delivery system is in. Now the halftime show is already about to be done. And we have the rotation from the blue team top side. They have their own level 10 abilities. Disintegrate being used against Cocoon as usual. And in case that you're not familiar with that interaction, Li Ming players on this level exclusively take Wave of Force. The only reason you go into this integrate is because you have a Nubarak against you and he uses Cocoon. Then you try to go for this integrate because you can instantly burn the Cocoon down. Yeah, but it doesn't even count to that, because the first thing that gets burned down is Oriel. Quest is completed for Thrall as he accomplishes the Frostwolf Pact. And apparently they're finally getting some traction against the Nubarak. The bug is down and the blue team has gained some momentum and is trying to go for another kill. The double kill alone was already great and might give them a chance to make something happen on the opponent's team's Immortal. But Vala has just completed her own quest, so if she gets over to the blue side, she can make maybe a quick play, double arrow, lock that in, get the shield down, maybe even grab it for themselves. So we'll actually see how that works for them. Yeah, there comes the taunt, and there is the kill. Auriel is down. Frontlining Auriel, never something that you should actually witness. But Porky could revive himself quickly. Here's the cocoon. Nice teleport out of the immortal stun. Another lockdown from Thrall as he is attempting to set it up for Li Ming, but he's also in trouble, and it seems like he's the one to fall. Greyman has also died. Ana is dead too. And there's just kill after kill in this game. I mean, we are talking 16 kills at this point. Like, are you kidding me? Look at Ana, she died 4 times. It's been a while since I've seen an Ana die this many times. Usually old Granny sits all the way in the back and never really gets any damage put onto her unless the rest of the team has been dropped already. Now we have 8 kills against 9. They're making the play for the Immortal, and that objective is taken again by the red team. Yeah, they're claiming the objective here right now. Thrall is sitting at 20,000 damage. On the other side, we have currently 21,000 for Greymane, 26,000 for Li Ming. There's obviously Vala to consider too, who's also in a pretty decent spot on the damage numbers. Level 13 talents will soon drop in, but they're not just here yet. And well, let's have a quick look. At this point, the fort, I mean, it has to be, right? Siphoning Arrow! Alright! Could have totally seen like normal setup with maybe Gloom on this, but Siphoning Arrow for the self-sustain, also not too bad. 16 interested me more. I want to see if we're going to go for the Seething Hatred, if it's going to be just a little bit of Frost Shot control, or if Manticore is being played to put more pressure onto the frontliners with level 20 Farflight Quiver coming in. Auriel has Resurrect back up, so has a chance there. Thrall went into the Spell Shield. Here's the 13s on the other side now, though. So the blue team can fight back with this. The Anti-Clown Association is pretty much getting wrecked there. Nice setup against Greymane. Really nice Sundering from Thrall, but not enough to grant them the kill against the Big Bad Wolf. That was a good setup here from Godfilth, as he's using the Nano Boost of Ana to be a bit more cheeky on the plays. Alarak is sitting at 120 sadism at this point. And, well, here we go. Another 13, well, another even talent fight. 13 versus 13 in this case. And they are really aggressive. And there's the taunt, and there's the kill. Yep, and that's why Varian is awesome, especially with taunt. The mosh pit!
Holy shit.
He gets the 4-man mosh through, and they are absolutely destroying. Once again, Vala goes down, second time. They also drop a Nubarak, and the momentum is with them as they're moving onto the fort. That's an easy one for them to take down, but damn, that was pretty sick. What a mosh that they just pulled off there. ETC sees an opportunity just as Vala gets resurrected, and he says, okay boys, I got this. We are 20 kills deep, by the way. We have pretty much 2 kills a minute, roughly. So this is a very, very kill-heavy game. A lot of fights happening here, and now Varian has to, of course, deal with the catapult here, as that top keep is starting to lose more HP. And... but... I mean, it's gonna get a little bit tricky because they are losing more and more on the map here. This one is pretty much up for grabs. Top keep is a problem with the Shaman Cam now taken from the red team that could push through as both teams fight for the Immortal. It's getting a little bit dicey. There will be pressure on the red team side. Now there's a double camp at the bottom of the map, or at least one Khazra is still standing, and the rest of the camps is moving in. There's also Catapult. So this is actually a really good push, but the wall is still intact and Thrall is moving in to take care of it. They're all trying to trap, but now they have vision at the bottom of the map. The defense is there. Red team needed to do something about it, so they're going for the halftime show in order to win that. They need to send someone top, though. You can't let that barrel through your top lane. And yes, Greymane and Li Ming are both already moving over. They're actually waiting this out a little bit. Okay, there's the halftime show. Trying to get the experience here. It's pretty much the entire team that moves in, and they have to. The catapult is already down. They're taking the camps apart. But the red team is already fighting for the Immortal, and they have Thrall, they have Vala with the completed Monster Hunter quest at level 4. Someone needs to deal with that quickly. If they don't move in for it, they're just going to give it up. And it's exactly what happens. This is a freebie. It's an absolute freebie. Team ReGen takes the objective. Top lane is still pushing, and that happens if you don't take care of your opponent's camps at the top side quickly enough. So yeah, big problem. 16 is nearly in. That's the reason why the blue team is currently fighting like this, because they are hoping to get 16 for that. And again, the taunt kill. Resurrect is there immediately, but again, it's a cooldown win at the end of the day for Team Anti-Clown Association. Varian is about to have his taunt back up, and Greymane's bullet isn't too far off either. The problem is that ETC just went down, but there's the follow-up kill against the Nubarak. Yep, Noob now also with Epic Enter on level 16. Gonna try and enter the opponent's backline. Even though against Ana he doesn't even need it, because Ana's frontlining anyways. So yep, joke's on you, baby. But there's the Manticore for Vala. And also, instead of the attack speed increase, we currently have the Reservoir of Hope. Ana with a kill against Thrall. Top side gets pushed. And I don't think they can make it for the keep. Not with the heroes that they just lost. So yeah, they need to be careful with that for sure. But in comes the attack. 14 kills against 10. 16 versus 16 talents on the board. Let's take a quick look at the numbers actually. We have 37,000 for Vala now. 46,000 for Li Ming. She's doing extremely well with the damage. And what else do we have? Thrall on 32. Okay, not bad. Greymane on 29. And Thrall especially, of course, on the siege damage also looking strong. Has been dealing with the top lane for a long time against pretty much Varian alone, so that's going to help you with that for sure. Now the camp is taken at the bottom of the map, but we're looking at the exact same situation that we had all game. Even talents, fights happening, both teams absolutely willing to fight. It's the first game in the best of 5, of course. First game of the season. So both of the teams are quite willing to show that they are aggressive enough that they can take these fights and make a maybe not a name for themselves, but definitely make a statement here in this particular series and establish themselves as an aggressive team that is leading the charts. There's the bullet and the sniper combos in again. It's exactly what we've been talking about over and over again when we're looking at the amateur play. You get Varian in, you get the taunt in, and at the immediate follow-up with burst damage. In this case, it's Greymane's bullet, and the follow-up, Li Ming also with a combo, and that just bursts pretty much any target away that you could possibly think of. And Nubarak is just falling. At the beginning of the game, it was nearly unkillable. Right now, he is falling victim to that combo over and over and over again, and then Oriel has to think, do I revive him? Do we fall back? How do we play this? Keep in mind how Washed Up, for example, played with Vala and Oriel. Vala went absolutely ham, hyper-aggressive, sacrificed herself, got immediately revived, and then was able to continue the fight. So it was more of an aggressive revive that you had on your own team's terms in order to make sure that you can trade damage into the opponent and maybe get a counter kill there and get mad value out of revive in the team fight. In this case, when you use it on the retreat, there's always a chance that you get killed again. As it happens, though, the blue team is now walking away with a 5-kill lead. So they are looking really strong. I mean, this Immortal is going to murder. We're looking at 17 minutes in the game. There's still a few hit points left, so they need to take care of that. Greymane could jump in. They're actually trying to go for a Nubarak again. Yeah, Immortal is about to be taken, but there's the cocoon, there's the jump, and again a Nubarak eliminated as Li Ming homes in the missiles. Mirror Ball hits home, and that's the kill. They're trying to follow it up with the second one against Alarak, and he's in trouble. Yep, there's the mosh pit against 2, but where's the damage? Well, there it is. And Alarak is down. Alarak down, and psst, Laser Show drops Vala. Guys, this is 3 heroes down. The Resurrect against Alarak is only going to result in him getting dropped once more, and this is just trouble. Oriel gets away, which in and of itself is incredible, but I think the blue team at this point just said, guys, let's just let him go. We have the top lane already. Let's just maximize the damage that we can push onto the lane. And don't chase heroes, which is just going to result in us losing even a bit more time. So they're moving through the top. 19 kills against 10 at this point. And yep, this is looking pretty sexy for the Anti-Clown Association. They're looking quite strong here. Level 20 talents, we now have the Glory to the Alliance. And also Tal Russia's Element. Keep is obviously a goner, you can't save that. The only question right now is really, can you save the core? This is all this is about. Can you save the core, yes or no? And the core should take at least some damage. There's a quick disintegrate against the cocoon to ensure that there's no value. Filth comes in, Sundering is already through. Ooh, Thrall actually got hit by that as well. And they're trying to make the play for it. It's a 5 versus 5 defense that we're looking at right now. And Nubarak is down, so is Oriel. They get the triple kill as Vala gets dropped. And this is game. The Anti-Clown Association takes down Team ReGen in game 1 of the best of 5 series at Division S North America. GG. Game number 2, the Anti-Clown Association, ladies and gentlemen, going up against Team ReGen, and the blue team has taken the lead. We're in Cursed Hollow now, and we have Dude Abides on Malthael, Got Filth on Falstad, we have my pal Vince on Muradin, Quantum on Malfurion, and Kelsia on Greymane. And over to the right side of the map, Funz on Arthas, Porky on Rhaegar, Troy with Abatha, alrighty. Abby in the house, Lupus and Mal'Ganis, and Carbon on Li Ming. Yeah, so we have an Arthas Mal'Ganis, an Abatha Mal'Ganis or an Arthas Abatha. That made more sense, right? Sometimes, seriously. But yeah, so Abatha has now 2 people to pretty much head, which is going to be pretty great for him, already going into the pressurized clans here on level 1, so this should be kind of fun. And it's going to be terrifying having Arthas with a symbiote, or even Mal'Ganis just moving in with that. So yeah, we're gonna check that out. Also, Muradin is in the game. That in and of itself is kind of cool. Rhaegar, the little doggy, got lost. Look at that. Where the hell is Rhaegar going? Yeah, little doggy that could or would or wanted to, but and actually walks away. Oh, that little wannabe chihuahua really had his pulse going, I can tell you that much. That's an adrenaline rush if I've ever seen one. Goes up to the opponent's side and thinks, you know what's a fantastic idea? I'm gonna steal our opponent's watchtower away. I saw that once in a bronze game and it worked really well, so let's go for it. And he nearly gets wrecked. He's like, oh shit, they're after me. I was like, really? You think so? But yeah, Falstad is at the top side now, and is already trying to get some global value. But I was about to comment on Muradin being in here, which is kind of cool. We don't see him a lot in Europe anymore. Muradin has pretty much disappeared. Is obviously still one of the easier to play heroes, is solid, he has a stun, can be great in team fights, doesn't really have a lot of wave clear or anything. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see Muradin here. He gets a little bit eclipsed by other heroes, so that's simply better. He as a hero isn't really bad or anything, but usually he is replaced by others that take his role. Arthur's already in, and I mean, what the hell is that mount? I mean, Funz, seriously. I can totally agree if that Synergy doesn't always have to be a thing, but really, that particular beast, like, are you kidding me? Get a money pick, my friend. Just get a money pick. It's like, you can't go wrong with a money pick. Get a money pick, get a doubloon, that's where it's at. I will grant you a carpet, but going for that thing, I mean, this is honestly a crime in and of itself. That should give you a report within a second. I report people regularly for it, and as a reason I always tell Blizzard, crimes against humanity, crimes against good taste, and also just violating the Synergy code of Heroes of the Storm. You can't simply go for that. The pleb horse at least has a little bit of style and makes a statement, but that dinosaur just... Alright, but, well, there's a bit more happening than only crimes against mounts, so with that... Ooh, Malfurion.
First blood.
Malfurion goes down. That shouldn't really have happened here. They had 4 heroes in the mid lane, like, what the hell? Alright. Well, actually, he was over there, so... Pff, okay. He goes down. 4 against 3, and Malfurion, for some reason, gets completely locked in. Good old Abatha gets the kill in there, but, well, down here, another lockdown attempt against Malthael. Red team is obviously extremely eager to turn things around here. They have the first kill now, but they are still behind in the series. A little bit of a setup around the objective has already started, with the interrupts coming from Malthael this time. Falstad against Abatha, top side for XP, and we have a few more friends coming in. Carbon is there, tries to make his little play, but can't really pull off too much damage yet, but the poke is going to continue as long as he's around. Falstad is still not willing to fly down, for good reason. If he does that and the opponent just interrupts and they have a problem, here comes the lockdown against Arthas for a second, but as you can tell, Muradin has also taken a lot of damage and needs to be super careful here. Oh, especially with now Mal'Ganis moving in too. That front line is tough to beat. That's a tough one. And there's the channel. If you have Mal'Ganis and Arthas against you, those are 2 hit point heavy tanks that have a lot of CC. And Abatha, in the meantime, has suffered damage at the top wall. 1 tower down, second about to be destroyed. So yeah, that's an issue. Here come the level 7 talents. Obviously, Boomerang still best talent on level 7 for a reason. Honestly, the only talent on level 7 that you should ever choose. There is one small argument to be made that occasionally you can go with Wingman on level 1 into a full Lightning Rod build, but you can also make the adjustment on level 7. But in 99.9 cases, 99.9% of the cases, you should definitely go for Boomerang. Yeah. Went over that a while ago, don't think we have to repeat that today. We actually see the Vile Nest on level 7, so no mule in this game. Okay, no mana muling allowed apparently. The Vile Nests instead, so rotations are going to be slowed down from here on out whenever Abathur is around. That's going to be quite helpful for them. Murden wants to give him the axe, and well, has to prove that already. So a few couple of stuns would be nice here. Has 6 connected so far. On level 1 he went into the self-sustain. Foster flies into. Abathur is still in the middle. Quick barrel roll brings him over here. They're trying to win this. You kind of have to too. If you already start losing out on objectives this heavily when Abathur doesn't even have the copy around, then you're going to run into problems later on. Good kill against Lupus though. He went a bit too deep there, and that was a nice focus by them. The entire team was on the same page. Blue team just homed in on him, focused him down. Malthael in a bit of trouble. He was a bit split off from the rest of them, but is still able to walk away. And Arthas is just an absolute menace. I mean, can you imagine going up against an Arthas that has a lightning shield assistance from Rhaegar, and then also at the same time is able to rely on the symbiote of Abathur? I mean, that's just nasty. Talking about nasty, that could have been a kill, and it is... Oh, it's not a kill! What? The bird gets away. Are you serious? Oh, he was already counting his chickens. I love that sound. It makes every bad joke so much more cringy that it's already awesome. The cringe is real. Okay, a level ahead now for the blue team. Yeah, but little birdie gets away. Which was clutch. I mean, he should have fallen there, to be honest. It was a nice dodge from him too. If the initial orb actually connects with him, then he's done for. But he was able to move away from it, and yeah, then survive with like 50 hit points. Now there's a bit of a trade in camps, and you can already see that this is not going to be a nice trade for the blue team, especially if they lose Malthael now, which... no way. Another one that escapes with 40. So Malthael actually survives. Falstad flies in. Is that going to be a steal? They're walking away from it. They don't have level 10. Oh. Oh my god, this is a disaster. And the doggy survives with 60 HP, but the boss is stolen. And they steal the camp too. God, I can't believe this. They don't have level 10. They make the cheeky play for the boss. Malthael comes around, and instead of finishing the boss, they think they can get the kill against Malthael. And it's, guys, it's so sad. It doesn't matter what they do. They would have walked away with a net plus if they either would have focused on the boss and taken the boss, or if they would have gotten the kill against Malthael and then either take the boss afterwards, or even if they let it go. But as it happens, they can't decide between boss or Malthael, go for Malthael, miss the kill by 40 hit points, try and go back on the boss. The blue team by then is ready, and since they have level 10, the red team can't fight, has to let it go, and loses out on it. That's one of those situations where afterwards you just want to scream into a pillow. I mean, seriously, blue team must be super happy with it, and if you're on the red team side, I mean, these guys have probably been pretty mad about that. It's honestly unlucky. If Malthael dies, it's great. If they just take the boss, it's great, but they... it was literally the worst outcome possible. You don't get the hero kill, you don't get the boss, and you lose heroes on the way back. Couldn't have gone much worse. Now the second boss was of course taken shortly after that, so now it's barreling through the bot lane, and it might not be able to take the fort down, but it's going to deliver quite a bit of damage. We have 2 tributes against 1 in the hands of the Anti-Clown Associations. That's already great for them too. But yeah. The rotation's now happening all over the map. Greymane is already sitting tight and is getting the channel through. The red team is therefore also cursed, which is another big problem, as you might have noticed. And there's level 13 talents on the board. Blue team, they are walking away with this. The Anti-Clown Association, they have absolutely no mercy here. They go in, drop what they can. Fawcett is still securing a bit of extra experience for them, but they try to go through the top lane to maybe even drop the first keep in game number 2. And Marthail has the inevitable end now. The red team is willing to fight for this, despite the fact that they don't have level 13 talents. And honestly, they need to do something. Falstad isn't here yet. Flies in, says hello, gets the gust through and tries to secure the retreat. Could have totally seen him actually fight for this a little bit longer. I mean, again, they have a talent advantage. They can wait for Abathar to lose the copy here before they start to make a move back in. Gets a lot of damage in against Arthas, I might add. But now they're moving down here, trying to see if they can maybe get the quick kill against either Arthas or Li Ming, but both of it don't happen. So now we have the attack against the fort, which is taken apart. Top Kiva, as we said, has taken a fair amount of damage, but hasn't been destroyed yet. And with a move down to the bottom of the map, they're gonna save their own fort for now. So, after the curse is over, we still look at a roughly a level lead. We're only 2 kills in. Compare this game a bit to what we've seen in the last one. Oh, Arthas gets the kill! And last rights drops him. Yeah, Arthas and Li Ming, they drop Malfurion, and then Malthael still has his ult through. That's actually the first stick that he was able to acquire for last rights, but the fight isn't over just yet. Oh, this self-ancestral as Porky gets out. Rhaegar is alive, and Mal'Ganis is moving away from it too. Alright. Alright, it's getting a bit crazy over here. But it's 2 kills against 2, and we're already 10 minutes in. You compare that to game number 1, and the difference is just astonishing. One game, hyper-aggressive, obviously with Battlefield of Eternity, a much more aggressive map, 2-lane map with a lot of objective focus. And now instead we're seeing more of a macro attempt with Falstad as a global on the side of the blue team, and on the other side Team ReGen playing with Abathar in particular. The damage output in this case is now in the hands of Li Ming with 27,000. 16,000 only for Malthael. It's not really a lot of fighting going on in this game so far. It's a couple of isolated kills that we've seen mostly, and quick snipes. And now still the approach towards the top. Abathar is just pushing this out. If you pay attention to the minimap, you can see the symbiote popping up there all the time. But now Falstad is also starting to take a bit more to the lane and to pushing, because they hope that eventually they can take this keep down with actually not having to properly commit to it, but instead just simply let the minions push through. And only Malfurion has fallen. Yeah, a little support player there has a bit of a problem. Quantum has the heart of a damage dealer. Let's just put it like that. He's frontlining a little bit harder, at least it was in some of the previous games. There's the Meridian Stormbolt, and Rhaegar is ready with the cleanse. Nice. That was a good one. That was a really important cleanse. If he doesn't land that, then it's pretty much lights out for Li Ming. At least a good chance. Falstad is taking the top camp. Thanks to the wingman, he's able to do that pretty easily. Boss at the top lane is, by the way, back up. So that one can be fought over. Which also means that down here we have another 50 seconds only until it's gonna reappear. 16 talents ready only for one team. And that would actually give the Anti-Clown Association a chance to try and steal either the boss. And then I think they're already making the play for it, whereas Falstad is channeling the bottom. Can always make his way up to the top with his global. But with level 16 talents, they would very much so like to fight now. They have to be careful. This is, by the way, the exact situation where Falstad's Boomerang is just amazing, because it's just sitting down here and you can now start to get the exact damage in against those minions. If you wait a little bit longer, you can get the entire wave pretty much in one hit. And that gives you wave clear that you otherwise would not have, and that makes you so dangerous as a Falstad player or as a global on the map, because you can just push lane after lane out or wave after wave out on the lane, make sure that you get max value for your team, escort a few of those minions into the opponent's tower range, make them lose experience, maybe even damage some forts, some keeps. And this is exactly why Falstad in this situation is just so incredibly strong, and why you should always go for Boomerang as a level 7 talent choice if you plan to play with the global aspect of the hero. Which you always should do if you draft him. If you don't draft him for that reason, then you should draft another hero. Period. That, on the other hand, is a bit of a YOLO move. I mean, Arthas gets wrecked here. He didn't even have to use last rights. Can literally use it for Rhaegar if he wants to. Even for that one, he just saves it. And if they have a chance to lock down Mal'Ganis, they can get the kill there. In theory, they could have gone for Li Ming there now too. But that's 2 quick kills against... Oh, Falstad even flying in. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, teleport is still a thing. It was an aggressive move, not necessarily a bad thought. If he actually catches her there, they might have a chance. But that's the second tribute now taken. Arthur's down, and therefore with 4 kills against 2, they again have control over the map. and the even talents don't help the red team in the slightest. I mean, ReGen that last encounter didn't even have opportunity to go for his Ancestral. What do we see now? Boss is taken. Red team knows it. They're going to try and make the play for their own boss, but I think they're a little bit too late for that, if I'm absolutely honest. Because this one is pretty much already taken. And keep in mind, a year ago, Blizzard had the ingenious idea that they would increase the movement speed of every single hero by 10%. And on this map, that actually matters. So, is that still enough? Keep the Abathur mines in mind. Blue team might get that. If Falstad comes in, nope, he doesn't. Red team is actually able to walk away with it. Nice. I think Falstad could have YOLO'd it, but they're ahead, so they don't need to take the risk here. It was a bit of a clutch call, but this time there were no distractions, and thanks to the Abathur Nest, the level 7 talent, they were able to slow all of this down. Talk about slowing things down. They're not slowing down when it comes to the fight. They take Falstad apart immediately. The Falstad is eliminated, and Malthael is dead too. So is Malfurion. Holy shit, what just happened? The entire time, it's like a completely opposite play, where the blue team is wrecking them every chance they get, and now it's 4 heroes down within a few seconds. The boss at the bot lane is still going for keep, but should be defeated before he can take it down. Top side, Mirrodin is trying to do his thing, but damn, that last fight was absolutely insane. Well done here. Okay, so towards the top, what else are we gonna get here? Vince is already making his play and is sitting up against the boss. He's the only one to survive here. If he can buy a little bit more time for the catapult to get some extra shots through, that would be great, but that one's taken down. Stormbolt after Stormbolt connects here. There we go. Greymane, pretty solid damage here. Li Ming currently on 46,000. They make the play over to the left side now again. Just still another Night Camp away. 4 against 6. And it's still fairly open. Fairly open game right there. Alrighty, here we go. Do the Bite starts to make his play in, and they take the camp away. But I was actually waiting for him to jump in together with Mirrodin and try and get a kill there with Last Rites. He has so far only gotten the 1 kill earlier. Sometimes I really feel that he should just stack it just so he gets the cooldown reduction for the late game, but he really holds it back a lot. Now they can make the play again, as already the setup, as Falstad flies in from the side. They try to go for Arthas. He's not down yet, and the copy is zoning out Malthael completely. The Gust had to be used to save him. Melganis also attacked another boomerang as Falstad barrel rolls over the debris here, and the copy zones them out and nearly gets the kill against Malthael. Yeah, a bit more damage from Falstad, but the tribute has been channeled. Team ReGen bought enough time and space for Rhaegar to make it happen. And therefore, the curse is hitting the blue team hard. Nicely done. Red team is actually in a position where they're starting to get incredible momentum. The last 5 minutes have been looking really strong for them. And now they're sitting at 56,000 damage on the side of Li Ming. We currently have 30,000 for Greymane, so he's nearly on half the damage output. And he's the top damage dealer for his team. So job well done there. It's the front line that starts to become even more problematic. Earlier on, it was really just a quick lockdown from Mirrodin with a Stormbolt, a bullet, and a bit of focus, and they could take down Arthas, for example. Especially if they use Last Rites with the 2, but that has started to change a bit. Melganis comes in, interrupts the play. Arthas has a lot more survivability now too, of course. At level 20, that's going to even increase. We have no one can stop death already, as Storm talents are being picked by the Anti-Clown Association. But as already mentioned, now that we have level 20 talents, look over to Arthas and he has the Anti-Magic Shell. We have Storm Shield for Rhaegar. Hive Mind. This is a very, very strong setup now to just keep yourself sustained throughout the team fight. Malfurion can screw with that, of course, a little bit if he's able to move in. He doesn't have Astral Communion on 20, but he went straight into the Life Bloom here. And is at this point just going to try and keep everybody in play, while at the same time hoping for good silence to interrupt any kind of CC chain, or just simply combo that Team ReGen could drop. And the red team has taken the lead here. This is still a best of 5, so it's not like no matter who wins this, there's more games to come. But the red team hopes to equalize the score with this one. Yeah, curse is over. There's still a fort on the map, and it's all about experience, to at least to a point. 20 against 20, of course, puts a bit of a stop to that. Stats advantage are still important, but you're not going to walk around with the talent advantage anymore. Let's see. Bottom of the map. Falstad is actually denying vision as much as he can. And they're also going to make their play now for a bit more vision. This is actually one of the interesting things. For quite a bit of time during this game, we had Team ReGen controlling that watchtower here. The blue team wasn't as diligent as they probably should have been in order to take that. Murder now also super sustainable build on his part, of course. Has now Rewind 2, which gives him the additional clap for the healing static on level 13. So yeah, he is incredibly tanky on that setup. And bosses are coming back up. So one boss is already up on the map. The one at the top is going to respawn soon. And this is honestly where the game could be decided. Meridian has not completed his quest yet either. So let's have a bit of a look at that. Yeah, it's already triggered a little bit. Got Filth sitting at the side here. Went into the wind tunnel, by the way. I mean, we've seen a bit more epic mount lately again, but wind tunnel is still the standard talent to take here. And especially, of course, around bosses, that talent can do a lot for you. Needs to be really careful. Walked straight into one of those toxic nests, and as we've seen already previously, the extra slow on it is quite the problem when you're trying to close the distance here, and especially if your opponent can actually catch that. Alright, there's the jump. Vince is starting to move into Arthur's. Trying to make his play as well from the side as he's trying to move in. Arthur's, of course, out the added benefit of capitalizing on Abathur's level 16. So he has now that speed boost from the adrenaline boost, which really helps him to set those flanks up. Come in with a Frozen Tempest. Well, Mal'Ganis is moving in. They have the setup. Abathur is pushing the top lane a little bit more aggressively. Lupus is on 50% HP. They're still poking around it. This could be a curse against the red team. The red team has the problem that this is also starting to attack the keep over here. Wind tunnel, isolation as they're trying to make the play for Arthur's, and he's down. Funz is down. Abathur goes for the copy, but it's a bit too late. The bottom keep is about to fall. Red team might be able to save it if they just move in time. Rhaegar, by the way, could never get the Ancestral off. That wind tunnel did way too much work, and this is really good damage. I mean, they can go for the boss now, which is exactly what they do. Bottom keep is definitely gone. This might be... Guys, this might be game. Bottom keep, after the boss is taken, will be destroyed one way or another. And now that the curse is hitting them too, the blue team has a good chance of setting themselves up in the series with a 2 lead. Oh, the interrupt against that channel. Li Ming nearly getting the insta-kill here, which is of course what she was hoping for. But instead, they're making the play for Rhaegar, the dog with the self-ancestral. They realize they have to make a risky play here, and they go for it. Malthael moves back to the tribute in order to channel it through. The quest is completed for Murder now. That boss is moving in. No kill has been had here by either team yet. And as the curse connects, the red team is off to face the music. They have to face a curse, they have to face a boss, and a 5-man push to the bottom of the map as they're starting to move in here. Yep, and in we go. Lockdown again versus Quantum. The attempt to go for Malfurion. So far unsuccessful. They're trying to go for the setup as the wind tunnel pushes everybody into a corner. Arthur's the only one at the front. And the anti-magic shell denies the last rights value here. Nicely played by him, but the boss is already on the corner. The shields are falling as the rest of the team is still fighting. And once again, we're having a hero missing on the side of the blue team as Greymane is getting dragged down. But the counter kill against Mal'Ganis as he falls as well. Another focus, but the core is down to 20%, and that's going to seal the deal here as we have a 2-0 lead for the Anti-Clown Association against Team ReGen. GG, and well played. Game 3! It is getting wild, ladies. It's getting wild in this best of 5. Division as North America, and on the left side we have Deathwing, played by Dudebites. He made it through the draft, not banned out this time, and immediately locked in. Kelsia on my F, got Filth on Sylvanas, Quantum on Malfurion, and my pal Vince on Anubarak. And Team ReGen apparently thought, well, we have a reputation to defend here, so let's go full in a Clown Fiesta. They went into Cho'Gall, Porky on Cho, Carbon on Gal, we have Funz on Leoric, Troy on Greymane, and Lupus on Deathwing. So it's definitely an IQ 200 draft, because they pretty much thought, hey, if we pick all of the percentage damage away, then they can't pick it against us. Which, to be fair, is an interesting approach. So they have Leo, they have Greymane, so they're now in a position where there's not really a lot of percentage damage left on the opponent's side to take, and there's pretty much none. We have on top of that, at least, well, at least, we have an Uberak, so he is currently in one of those Walmart special situations where he gets a 2-for-1 deal every single time that he uses the Cocoon against Cho'Gall. But it is definitely a bit of a hot game here. So we have Deathwing up at the top. And yeah, it's going to be Deathwing against Cho'Gall, so we're going to find out which one is more OP. That's pretty much what everybody wants to know. God Filth, on the other hand, is already in trouble.
First blood.
And that's a kill. God Filth down, and Sylvanas says goodbye. Now, this should become a little bit interesting, because if you have Cho'Gall, that also means you have only 4 bodies on the map, so a game or a team that rotates nicely around that can actually do a lot with it. Lupus, by the way, here also with Brightwing, and that in and of itself will be quite interesting to see, but the game is, I mean, this is hype. First of all, we have the Draconic Might at this point on level 1 for Deathwing. He's currently in that one-on-one situation against Leo at the top side. Let's just face it, the percentage damage is obviously also really nice against Deathwing. So I was talking at the beginning a little bit about like Cho'Gall, and oftentimes teams are always about like, oh my god, we have to draft Leo or Tychus and Greymane against the hero. And obviously it's a bit of a meme, but against Deathwing, having all of those percentage damage dealers in play is always a nice thing to have. So that's definitely a bit of a part of what the counter here is here. So with that said, let's check that out a little bit. Already, as we're starting to look at this a little bit, we have 3,200 hit points on Deathwing at the beginning of the main. Cho'Gall has a little bit more actually, 3,400 nearly, as both of them are sitting on level 4 here. So, yep, definitely an interesting setup for the two, and Leo is taking advantage of that situation at the top side already, with him rocking the top damage here because of the drain. Life drain, baby. That's what it's all about right now. He connects the drain, he gets the damage, and he's walking away with the top numbers without a care in the world. God Filth and Quantum on their Malfurion Sylvanas combo, at the same time going for the Shaman camp, as we see Greymane and Brightwing commit to it on the other side of the map. Deathwing went into the Dragon's Ire at this point. And looking onto Leo, Consume Vitality and the Ghastly Reach. Alright, going into the extra range even on level 4. That will help him a bit with the wave clear on the objective. And it could also provide him with some synergy on his level 13 and 16 talent, if he goes down the traditional path and doesn't deviate into an auto attack build, which we've occasionally seen. Doesn't really happen a lot, but you sometimes see Mithril Maze being chosen. Everybody's starting to rotate up towards the top slowly. And Cho'Gall is already sitting tight here. I mean, right now, we're looking at bombs away, and the uppercut. Leo goes down. Oh, gets taken here by Malfurion, by Sylvanas, but the fight up at the top has already yielded an advantage to Team ReGen, as they have taken the lead thanks to also Leo on the point. Molten Flame comes through. As we're starting to get that done, they're getting put into a corner. A bit of a problem here for Greymane in particular, as he's already trying to move out. Brightwing with the assist. Malfurion in trouble. Leo moves in, obviously quickly revived here. Put into a corner himself, but as he goes down, we also see the kill against Malfurion. Malfurion dead, full-on engage combo now from Uberak, as he picks his level 7 talent, goes straight into the Subterranean Shield. Deathwing with the Skyfall on level 7, and the big lead now for Team ReGen, as Cho'Gall triumphs in the first direct encounter with Deathwing up at the top. Raid boss my ass, baby! So, for now, good old Prbon is already pushing in. Yeah, they're going to bait the Punisher over the wall, as you should. Stand behind the gate, make the play there. Here's the defense as... Uh-oh, that got close for a moment. And Uberak burrows away. But at the bottom of the map, that's where Deathwing and Leo are still fighting it out. And up to the top, there's a bit of a kill attempt against Maiev, actually. Greymane does a whole lot of damage here. And Maiev has to jump out and does so. But the Punisher is eliminated. The fight isn't quite over yet, though. They're still hoping to get a bit more damage onto the fort. It's not quite possible just yet. 2 kills against 2. We see Funds already moving over to Drain again. And in we go. Do the bites, always trying to make the way out of the drain range, which he should. But you look over to Gall, and he already started to take the top damage numbers away from Leo. Another wave jump from Sylvanas as she's able to get out, but Deathwing is back. Alright, let's go. Let's see if he can maybe make... maybe with the help of Malfurion and another route, they might have been able to get some damage in. If you get any kind of lockdown into a Molten Flame, for example, the amount of damage that Deathwing puts out is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, one of the things, by the way, that was always debated the entire time is like, how strong is Deathwing really? And I can't really speak for North American Division S players just yet. And it's the first game that we're casting over here. But when you look at Europe, Europe is curly crazy. Deathwing is always banned. He made it, I think, through 2 drafts, was first picked in both, and if I'm not mistaken, he won both of the games. But in 90% of the matches right now, the hero is completely banned out in the first ban phase. So of course, over the next few weeks, we still have to monitor that a little bit, but it is quite obvious that teams feel the hero is way too strong when played correctly, and that everybody needs to be careful. In we go, Hammer of Twilight, plus Twisting Nether. We have Cursed Bullet, and for the extra heal, Blink Heal is in on the Fruit Fly. Also, the Bellowing Roar now for Deathwing. And here we go, the 2-for-1 value. Cocoon is in. Let's see if he can actually land those properly, because that would be quite a nice setup against Cho'Gall. If you can force the fight away from him, that's always a nice thing. They, by the way, not only have Cocoon, but also they have the disc, so they have quite a bit of that. A little bit of a push party here. And Uberak coming in is like, oops, sorry, my bad. I didn't understand that that bush was already taken, sir. Apologies. Cho'Gall, of course, doesn't have a problem with that. 2 kills against 2, level 11 for both of them. It's nothing really too crazy yet. I'm just waiting for the late game team fights, if I'm honest. 14,000 damage from Khaldor and Leo. Leo, of course, getting that side lane value against Deathwing the entire time. That's the beauty if you are playing around percentage damage against a high hit point hero. And right now, what do we look at? 4,500 hit points for Deathwing. And Cho'Gall is sitting at 4,600. So slightly above the hit point pool that we're seeing from the big fat dragon. There's a bit more wave clear in. Trying to escort those waves straight into the opponent's towers just as the objective spawns. That was actually a nice move. They're a little bit farther ahead right now and have even a small stats advantage over the Anti-Clown Association. Well, if you're ever... like, if ever a team was needed that is called the Anti-Clown Association in a match, and it's here, going up against Cho'Gall and that setup, I mean, if that isn't clowny, then I don't know what is. Here comes the setup from Leo as he goes straight up onto Malfurion, but Quantum might actually survive that, goes into the Tranquility, and despite the slows that we're seeing from the Skeleton Swing, he's able to walk out. The fight is raging on as Cho'Gall again is just dashing in. Leo in trouble though, and Funds goes down. The first kill against the red team, as we are seeing the Anti-Clown Association with an attempt to follow up with kill number 2. Due to bites on his Deathwing, needs to be very, very careful here. And obviously he's not the only one, because Brightwing might be in a bit of trouble. Blink heals out, but in comes Maiev, tries to go for the tether, and Cho'Gall! Oh, they actually save him! Sylvanas tries to jump in to see if she can maybe get the final hit through. That's not quite the case, so now they have control over the shrine, and the blue team is about to take a massive, massive lead here. But the red team isn't done yet. Team ReGen is re-engaging. They're trying to make a play. The disc is in against Cho'Gall. They're making the play for Leoric again. The Molten Flame is already out. Leo is low. Leo gets out, and Cho'Gall comes to the rescue as he dashes into 5 heroes and says, "What's up, boys?" and tries to make his play here. But the Cocoon hits him hard. Yeah, the 2-for-1 value the entire time. It's actually pretty annoying for Team ReGen. Every single time either Cocoon or Disc gets being used, it means that they have to play 3 versus 5. But they're able to pull it off. They win another objective. 3 kills against 2, they're behind on the kill count, but they have just now won objective number 2. And they can, with the second Punisher, now get even more value. It already barrels through the middle of the map as they're opening the wall. And they will try to take the entire fort with it. Also, at the same point, pretty quick info here on... oh, there we go. Molten Core is being used now as well. Deathwing flies in. Malfurion obviously has a nice... Deadwing! Deathwing dead, and Anubarak is now down to... alright, nicely done. And Sylvanas jumps out as well. Alright, so 2 heroes... oh, ho, ho, the money and tomb! Oh my god, Leo! You monster, but Greymane comes in and takes the kill. Well played by Maiev. A kill for a kill here, but it's of course still a strong situation for the red team. The mace to the face as Leo comes in, but it's actually the Trashwing that comes in and with a little bit of fruit fly spit takes Sylvanas down. 6 kills against 4 now and a big lead for Team ReGen. They lost 2 maps in a row, but now that they finally have Cho'Gall in play, it's a different ballgame, as you can tell. Yeah, with Deathwing not being able to receive any heals here, Malfurion is in a position where he can focus on the rest of the team a little bit more. It's 30,000 damage on Sylvanas now, as she is really taking the numbers for the team. Which is not really that big of a surprise against most of those heroes, but it's kind of interesting that Dudebites was so far not really able to put more damage out than he is. Because usually, when you're playing around Deathwing, the damage numbers look a bit more favorable for him. Nick, when he played Deathwing for Washed Up on Battlefield of Eternity against Pepe Malady, for example, walked away, I think, with 90,000 damage or something like that, which was pretty incredible. Gal has now also taken over, as usual. I mean, whenever you see Cho'Gall, Gal usually ends up being the top damage dealer in the game. Leo is still capitalizing, as does Greymane, from the percentage damage. There's the setup against Cho'Gall as they're trying to go for that kill once more. And the disc comes out too. They're making this play the entire time. You go for the cocoon, you go for the disc, you try to force a 5 versus 3, but Cho'Gall comes in from behind and tries to get the kill set up against Malfurion, who barely makes it out. Bellowing War already used. Dudebites is low, and Deadwing confirmed. Dead again, taken down by Cho'Gall. Any questions? No? Alright, thought so. Down goes Leo, he's eliminated as well, and Cho'Gall, the Molten Core, saves his ass. So does Brightwing, jumping in time after time again with a little bit of help and heal. 5 kills against 7, and at this point, 2 forts eliminated. Nicely done. Yeah, damn son. This is getting a little bit crazy here. Cho'Gall is currently showing Deathwing, who's the boss on the map. The raid boss, if you still want. We have Shadow Snare on level 16 at this point from Cho. From Gal. And level 16, which gives us also the execution at this point. Ooh, yeah. Good damage increase for him. Level 16 talents is something that's completely missing on the side of the blue team as the objective spawns, and that's a problem. They have half a level that they have to bridge, which is definitely possible, but it should give Team ReGen a lead on the minion stacks. They should be able to take a slight advantage here. Fire and Fury on level 13 for Deathwing, for the Anti-Clown Association. But as already expected, there's Greymane with a little bit of an advantage until level 16 still. The blue team is already starting to walk over. Leo likely going to attempt to slow that down a little bit, but it's already a 12-point lead on objective number 3. And it's just increasing here. Epic Enter taken by Nuburak, as he's trying to get some extra value out of his level 16 burrow charge there for the stun. Enters the opponent's backline epically. That's why the talent is named that way. And is able to get the kill set up for Malfurion. Brightwing goes down, the Fruit Fly is dead, but the problem is that the support on the blue team side has also now been eliminated. So 2 heroes bite the dust as the fight starts, and they're trying to make the play for Maiev. She's attempting to jump out, but again it's Gal with a kill, an easy one for him, and Greymane follows up a second one against Sylvanas. Team Cho'Gall absolutely dropping them here. I mean, they are crushing. 6 kills against 10. 30 stacks now, and they are just absolutely dominant. Leo has continued his build with the Ominous Wraith and Royal Focus, so it's pretty much a standard build for him. And with his level 4 talent, he gets some synergy on that side. It's just incredible to see how Cho'Gall is currently crushing through this game. I mean, if there was ever any question of how you beat Deathwing, I think the question is now answered. You just have to make sure that you draft a lot of Cho'Gall. Kappa, kappa, kappa.
Nope.
But yeah, so the jump is in, and Deathwing is sitting at 21,000 damage. He's still below Maiev. There's another setup though from Leo, and that one is absolutely spot on. But again, the Cocoon is out. The kill against Leoric as they try to go for keep number 1 in this third game. Is this really the one where Team ReGen turns it around and puts their point onto the scoreboard? Or we're going to see a turnaround from the blue team. A 6.5 out of 10 moment. That's what they're looking for now. But it seems like they're going to lose another one. Maiev is down. Deathwing flies in, tries to get the kill. Cho'Gall still alive. Riding the heels. And another Deathwing kill. Oh god. That's 12 kills against 7 now, and Cho'Gall just doesn't die. Late game is of course his friend, and he's just now benefiting from that late game situation here. You can already see that Leo, they want to make the play for Sylvanas, and they do. It's actually Cho'Gall who takes her down. The keep is gone, and they are making their play for the core now. With Greymane around, I mean, why wouldn't they? In comes the attack against Sylvanas, the Polymorph, oh sorry, against Malfurion. Polymorph is through too. Shields are already falling in the meantime though, and the Nubarak is also not looking all that healthy any longer. The core is falling, and ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we have a series on our hands. Cho'Gall takes down Deathwing in Game 3 of the best of 5 between Team ReGen and the Anti-Clown Association. GG and well played on Infernal Shrines. Game number 4, the meme dream is alive, ladies. Cho'Gall successful against Deathwing, and we go into Dragonshire, our 4th game. And yeah, it's all about the dragons again. On the left side, Dude bites on Malthael. Got Filth, gets a second shot at Maiev. We have Kelsey on Hanzo. My pal Vince on Anubarak, he really likes the bug. And Quantum on Malfurion again. And to the right side, Funz is just simply saying, boys, you had your chance, your shot at Deathwing, and now we're going for it. So the dragon makes it into the game again. Porky on Oriel, Carbon on Greymane, Lupus on Johanna, and Troy on Falstad. I have to say that I feel it's a little bit weird that Lupus is not playing Greymane. I feel like that's a missed opportunity there, but well, can't argue with that. Dragon Soul on level 1. Yeah, the build actually a bit more reminiscent of what we've seen in Europe on Deathwing, at least up to this point with the approach that he has there. So, Funz already getting the dragon buy-in. And the action is happening off at the top against Malthael. Yeah, he nearly fell. Bit of a nice setup with the Molten Flame from the side. And that just roasted Malfurion and Maiev a little bit. How would you like to have your blue team, sir? Ah, well done, please. So, Deathwing is going to try and make that happen. That also Wingman for Falstad. So, we have a bit of global value, mainly for the red team. The blue team doesn't really have too much there. But they have rotations happening, and that's the kill. Down he goes. The bird is down, back into the KFC bucket. Apparently, Malthael likes chicken. And in we go. Camps are immediately being focused upon as there is a bit of a relief on pressure topside, so easy peasy for Carbon on his Greymane to get the camp. Now that the 1 minute mark is in and the camps have spawned, blue team is doing the same thing, but they're focusing on their siege giants first. Set the second set of heroes up towards the top left though, and starting to get it right there. So topside is probably going to collide. They should actually delay right now. I don't know why they took that, honestly. This one was already claimed. If you delay this by a few more seconds, it means that the camp ends up here and you have an easy defense. So, yeah, that could have been done a little bit better from their point of view, I would argue. Since they already had the opponent's camp being channeled, but Greymane is up at the top anyway, so they should be able to win this as a 2 versus 1. And then escort the remaining minions through, but now Maiev is coming in too to try and help out here a little bit. Either way, it's going to be a bit of an equilibrium at the top side. It's not going to be a huge advantage, but I think they could have been played out a little bit differently. Right now, though, we have the follow-up on the level 1 with Heatwave coming in on 4. So yes, the build that Nick has used on Europe when we saw Deathwing make it through the ban phase in the draft is at this point in. Also seeing the repeated offense for Oriel. Also our girl is gonna go straight in for the whips. And here comes the static shield. This is the one instance, by the way, as I said previously, where I could, for example, see Boomerang being given up in favor of a full-on focus into the lightning rod. That's definitely an option. With Maiev being around, everyone else, Malthael, that's an option for the bird. And normally, obviously, it's all boomerang, 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 and you still have some global value, and boomerang would be a great talent here, but you could make an argument for lightning rod if you go into a full-on build with this to also have a place on level 7. No place in the mid lane. That's what Greymane just experienced. Got bullied around a bit. The blue team completely ganking up on him and taking him down. So that's 2 kills against 0. The Anti-Clown Association, after they clowned around a little bit in game number 3, has now decided that they want to finish out the series with a 3-1 victory. And taking Team ReGen down right now. If that's going to happen or not, that's still to be seen. But we'll find out. Dudebites gets attacked. And Troy is already making his play right there. I mean, he needs to be really cautious, especially with Greymane around. If he doesn't have vision on Greymane, that wolf could jump out of a bush any second. And instead, we're having him at the camp now, which also makes a lot of sense. But Malthael obviously doesn't know that. So he needs to be careful, or he's going to be wrecked. Yeah, level 7 talents are in, and Falset is actually laying it, and here we go. That's exactly what I talked about. Charged up is taken now, so he goes into that full setup. Feels that he doesn't need that extra wave clear at the top, and he doesn't going to spend too much time in. So he should probably try and get some more flies in for setups with a quick gank against the hero and make that happen. Ooh, the Beetle Deathwing comes in from the skies, baby. This is still one of the best animations here. The best thing is when you actually mistime it and you're on the opponent's side of the gate all of a sudden and it's like, I don't want to be here. No, but the animation is honestly one of the coolest that you can possibly see in Heroes right now. I feel that's absolutely amazing. One of the best things to do here. Skyfall has also been picked on level 7. Again, following into the European footsteps here. Fons is currently sitting in the middle of the map the entire time. And when you look at the pure damage output, I mean, he is top damage on his team side and is also rocking the wave clear pretty much. They have a very dominant position now at the bottom and at the top. I mean, Falset is just catching the experience here. He has controlling the shrine. Everyone else is sitting at the bottom of the map now, trying to catch the second one so that they have an option for an objective. Going for Dudebites here, and while they fail to get the kill, that's still enough damage to force him to tap the fountain. Bot lane fight is still on as we're talking about it, and it's about level 10 abilities right now. And the blue team is slightly ahead. They're even trying to make maybe a play for the bot lane here. Would be a bit surprising, but we know that Falset is top side. We know that Fons is still sitting over here towards the middle, so that's still a play. Troy at the top. Needs to be careful and gets again the attacks in with the lightning rod. Tries to keep his opponent at base with that continuous single target damage that he's pushing out with it. And Malthael has to be cautious. Once that he has his ult ready, he might get the kill against the bird, but right now it's tricky. And he might actually die here. And yes, that's the kill. Malthael is down. Lightning rod value right there. Able to get the solo kill. Deathwing comes in at the bottom of the map, and bam, there's the double. The bird also falling as Maiev takes him apart in the middle of the map, but still, that's a 2-for-1 trade. Regardless, both teams now with level 10 abilities, and the shot to go for objective number 1. Maiev still sitting in the bush here. Could actually try to rotate maybe towards the top and steal that away, but of course she doesn't have the full vision. Whip into the wall, nicely done. Porky handling the whip here like a boss. And Carbon needs, yeah, I mean, he would have loved to get the channel there, but he needs to be careful. There's more heroes rotating in. If you go a bit too deep for that, then you have a problem. Yeah, like Oriel. Oriel, for example, is dead already in the Mighty Gust. That Troy was pushing through was definitely not in time. So now the kill against them. There's still a bit of aggression happening around Greymane. There's the root on the ground. The lockdown with the stun. Twilight Dream, and the doggy is dead. And the bird follows. 6 kills against 2. It looked great for the red team for just a few moments, and then the blue team turned up the heat and started to take them down one after another. Deathwing is getting quite a bit of damage in here, I gotta admit, but still, it's a bit nasty. Greymane with go for the throat. Malthael has taken the top side. Good damage against the wall and also the tower. They're gonna get one of these turrets. And Kelsier is already sitting in the middle and thinking about going for the objective, but Godfilth has not taken the bottom shrine just yet. And here we go. Deathwing comes in and is starting to make his play, but gets body blocked and goes down. Deathwing dead. burn beneath my shadow. Nothing's gonna burn here, baby. They have a fire extinguisher. Don't ask me where they got it from, but yep, they definitely do. So Deathwing is dead. And now we have on the red team side a small advantage, but the blue team... sorry, on the blue team side a small advantage, and the blue team is using it immediately to be aggressive here. Cocoon on the ground, they want the camp, and they are 5-manning the shit out of it right now. Troy is already low, but he has the Mighty Gust, is using it to push them into range. There's the kill against Greymane with the last rights as the first deck from out there now, as they're starting to go for a second kill, especially against the bird. Hanzo comes in and drops him. But Malthael gets taken down too, and Deathwing is back to business and immediately flies in and tries to drop a few more. So the camp has actually not been claimed by either team. We have an advantage in kills and experience plus talents for the Anti-Clown Association. So ACA now with the channel control top side on the temple, so they're going to get at least this one. Bottom is getting taken by Johanna. Red team very eager to get the first objective here. Kelsia is jumping away, and yeah, the whip connects and completes the quest, but it isn't of real any consequence here. Can't do anything with that. And Deathwing is still firing away. Deathwing is coming in, doing some work, as Falstad flies over and steals this one. Nice from Johanna to stick around and make sure that nobody can go for the little birdie. Damage output by now, 25,000 for Deathwing. Hanzo on 28, big fight in the middle. Hanzo's about to make his way in too, has the arrow back up. Quite a bunch of fulls are actually available here. But it's most of the pressure against the red team that is a problem for, against the blue team that's a problem for them. Blue team has also pressure at the bottom lane against them because that fort is going to be attacked too. But they have at least Maiev towards the top so that nobody can take the Dragonite. But the fight is in and Oriel goes down as Malthael comes through with a second stack for his heroic ability. 10-second cooldown reduction for him now. The lockdown against the Luberak is the end of the beetle though. He's dead. That's, at this point, a 5 versus 4 on the map. Another kill attempt against Maiev as she's trying to get out here. More and more damage from Troy. Falstad is trying to get those lightning rock stacks in, and Malfurion is running away from the dragon. The old man with the stick is just saying, like, leave me the fuck alone. And the Funds gets attacked. Yeah, that's where Malthael comes in. Malthael with all of that percentage damage. That's the moment where he's just sitting there, is like, fuck, why do I have my abilities not ready to drop that thing completely? I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at some of the other skins that exist for Deathwing, he's nothing but a big chicken. That white skin that he has, I mean, seriously, that just looks like a plucked chicken. Every single time I see that skin, I'm getting hungry. And Malthael takes the top control now, or tries to. But get what?
Surprise, motherfucker!
You're not quite alone there. Deathwing comes in, says hello, and goodbye as the fight in the middle of the map could decide who takes the first Dragonite in this game. We're 10 minutes in and nobody has taken one yet. Hans with another arrow attempt. But Greymane has taken the bot side shrine. It's an interesting game. It's a really interesting one. 10 kills against 4, 10 minutes in. It's game 4 of a best of 5 series, and not a single Dragon Knight has graced us with his presence yet. So, a bit of a weird one. Malthael pings already over and says, okay boys, let's take the camp and put some more pressure onto the top lane. Falstad makes the obvious play to alleviate the control in the middle of the map. And down here, there's another play for Mercenary Camp. This, on the other hand, is starting to become a problem. Malthael has a death wish. Malthael commits Sudoku and successfully goes down as he tries with the second shot to take the Night Camp away from an opponent that is already well aware where he's positioned. So Malthael goes down, and at least at the bottom of the map they can push a bit. But of course the Night Camp now is also stolen away, which means that they can get the pressure topside and maybe even the fort. So let's see if they can get a bit more at the bottom of the map. They're starting to jump in. Funds. Yeah, the bird is in with a quick gust, but a noob shouldn't have no problem running away from this one. Yeah, the Condemn pulled him a bit back in, but not really a big threat. So the bot fort is going to survive. It's going to take some damage. Up at the top, it's only the mage that is still sitting there. The mage is currently sitting in and is like, well, let's go. Down here. Another attempt to go for Deathwing, and tries to majestically take flight just to be wrecked at the startup. But Greymane gets a counter kill, but of course he's going to pay for that. 3 down, not really a kill against Johanna here, but a bit more damage and forces her back. Oriel could resurrect herself at some point if she really wanted to, but it's a bit too dangerous with Maiev and Malfurion still sticking around. And from a cooldown perspective, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense anymore. Top lane has taken some damage, but the game is actually, I mean, it's really all over the place. 13 against 6, that's the kill count. Maybe now finally a chance for the blue team to get an objective. Malthael is in and Fawcett barrel rolls away. Johanna in the middle with the flashlight could interrupt it for a bit longer. Deathwing is back, but are we gonna finally get a Dragonite here? It doesn't really seem like it. It doesn't seem like that's gonna be the case. Deathwing is already starting to piss them off at the channel point, and Johanna is in there too. Yep, and at the bottom, Fawcett has stolen another one away. Fawcett is just playing Ring Around the Rosie with them the entire time. He's just hopping in and out and tries to take those temples away. The control is taken. There's the gust into the corner, the isolation of Maiev, and she is down. Maiev down, kill against Deathwing. Malthael is also dead. 3 stacks now confirmed for him as his last rites took down the big bad dragon. And in comes Falstad again. He jumps in, has the extra slow on the crippling hammer, gets the kill against Malfurion, but the old geezer is able to get the counter kill. Thankfully, Oriel is in position for the resurrect, so now we look at 15 kills against 9. And maybe now, can we finally get a Dragonite 14 minutes into the game? Seems like it. Yes, Johanna makes the way over towards the middle. Fawcett has claimed the top, the rest of the... and gets interrupted. It would have been absolutely great if they could have kept up the interrupts until a few more players are back into the game to play around this, but yeah, not quite what's happening here. Okay, so Vince and Kelsey are currently sitting at the side. The aggression is still happening, this time at the bottom of the map. One of the most important lanes on Dragonshire, of course, since you have 3 different mercenary camps that will pressure the bot lane when taken. 2 Siege Giant and 1 Knight camp. Falstad is still up at the top, fighting against Malthael as we speak, and Deathwing is now moving down to the bottom of the map. But this little battle is still in, and I guess the bird is barely getting out. Close one. Greymane at the bottom of the map. He's down though, taken down by Malfurion, so the Dragonite moved up towards the middle in order to get some additional damage in here. 48,000 damage for Deathwing. 49,000 for Hanzo. Topside pressure, and that's a kill. Falstad survives, Malthael goes down, aspect of death. Does a lot of dying, not much more though. 5 deaths already on him. Maybe that's what we mean with aspect of death. Down at the bottom of the map, waves get still cleared. Both teams are now looking at level 20 talents to come in. Dragonite for another 5 seconds, and well, let's go. Have still an opportunity for the red team to take advantage of the 5 versus 4 that they have on the map. There's a couple of camps that they could take now. Especially, of course, the mercenary camps that will focus onto the mid lane, and the Knight camp at the bottom comes to mind immediately. And in we go. Falstad has also done the same thing now on the top right side, so he has also used the wing band for that. He has the level 20 talents for them. That gives us the wind tunnel once more. And let's go. Where's Deathwing? Well, first of all, we have actually on the blue team side Storm Talents 2. Both of them have now level 20. Deathwing with a stood in the fire. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason it's honestly like a really, really dumb name if you ask me. If you stand in fire that long, that's a little bit stupid. That's like people that walk with the lava wave when Ragnaros uses it on a lane. It's like the same thing. If you keep standing in that shit, I mean, then you deserve to be burned. That's just what happens. That's Darwin's theory of evolution at work, if you want to have my opinion on it. With level 20, we now also see light speed. So a little bit of a race car setup. There's the arrow, gets hit, and the kill, yes, against Malthael. Malthael down, wind tunnel, and Anubara gets murdered. Greymane shows no mercy here. They even want to go in for a 3rd kill, but Greymane can't quite get that set up. They're making their play as we speak, but the kill against Falstad. The Resurrect is immediately being used. The bird tries to get away. And that 20 upgrade is just absolutely fantastic. Comes in like... and then finally starts to slow down a little bit. So yeah, race car Falstad is a thing. 0 deaths, by the way, on Johanna. And that's even without Indestructible. Just think about that for a moment. Okay, and well, top side. That's where we have our big push with one mage. He's the only survivor. Frontline is already down, but he's also the first target as the rotation is finally in. Yeah, but again, it's 29 kills at this point. We're 17.5 minutes in, level 20 versus 21. We've only seen a single objective, but the teams are definitely fighting for it. 6 deaths on Falstad, 5 on Greymane. We have another 6 on Malthael. There's a lot of dying happening here. It's like we're in North America or something. Oh, wait, wow. Okay. Johanna... I'm not quite sure if that was the play. The first one gets the blessed shield out to stun Malfurion. The second one gusts him away. They got the kill regardless, so I guess that's fine. But there's the counter action against Force and Johanna as both of them get taken apart. So the blue team has a bit of momentum going. Keep the score in mind here. With a 2-1, the Anti-Clown Association needs to only win one more map in order to decide the best of 5 series in their favor. This is still the first playday of Division S North America that we're looking at here now. So for both of these teams is the first one. Falstad got again resurrected. I feel like the only reason why he's actually dying at this point is because he really enjoys that light speed upgrade for the resurrection that Oriel has on 20, because it makes him race around like a speed chicken on the map. So that goes a bit more for the race setup. Malfurion, just saying, has now 19 stacks on the Vengeful Roots. Might not be a new record, but he's definitely starting to get a little bit of damage in on it. Broccoli slowly turns into Groot. And 4 stacks on Malthael is also set up where 20-second cooldown reduction is starting to become impactful. Again, the ring around the rosy play with Oriel channeling bot side and Anubarak sitting at the top to do the exact same thing. We're still waiting for Johanna to be back. She should arrive here in just a few seconds. By now Hanzo has a 75,000 damage, and it's all about the mercenary camps again. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to a team fight at some point once more, so they need to try and get a setup against anybody. Deathwing, of course, impervious to any of these stuns that could be thrown out by the Anti-Clown Association. He's still in a pretty decent spot to YOLO around a little bit and face check a bush every now and then. But we still have that situation where a global on the red team side could decide the game in favor of Team ReGen. Having Fawcett available here, especially with that wind tunnel, is highly impactful. It makes your rotations so much smoother and so much better in the late game that it is pretty fantastic. It will put pressure onto the blue team eventually, which is exactly the case right now. Blue team, they send Hanzo top side, so he's sitting all the way up at the top. And he did go into his arrow on 20, and he needed to, but the problem is that this is an insta double kill. Hanzo comes in with the play of the game for exactly that reason, but now Malfurion is dead too. That's an easy triple kill, and they make a play for Malthael. That's 4 heroes down. That should even be game at this point. I mean, you can just move down to the bottom of the map. You can just simply say, screw the Dragon Knight. Who needs that? This pressure against the keep is already eliminating it one way or another, and if you move in with your entire 5-man, especially with Resurrect still being available on Oriel, who's going to stop you here? I mean, seriously. Deathwing might have lost game number 3, but in game number 4, the Dragon has a big impact here as they make their play for the core. Malthael is back. No one can stop Death apparently, but the core is already losing its shield. Deathwing might actually die here, but the core will too, and therefore we are headed to game number 5 in this best of 5 series between Team ReGen and the Anti-Clown Association here in Division S North America. Game number 5, and well, we have a whole new level of a wild draft on our hands as we go into the final map of this series. Now, we are about to witness a reverse sweep here from Team ReGen if they're able to claim another victory. First of all, we are on Tomb of the Cursed Spider Garden. And it's one of the more interesting map changes that Blizzard made. They basically combine Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Can talk about that in a second. But as we have a bit of an unorthodox map for the 5th game, we also have on the left side Do the Bites on Sonya. Got Filth for the Anti-Clown Association with Falstad, my pal Vince on Mal'Ganis, Quantum on Rhaegar, and Kelsey on Sylvanas. And it gets wild for Team ReGen. Porky on Karazim, Funz on Illidan, Lupus on Johanna, Carbon on Greymane, and Troy on Abathar. The second Abathar game that they actually play. The first one with Illidan, on the other hand. So it will be wild, especially since on level 1 we now also have the unending hatred. Someone is aiming for auto attacks here, and it should be a pretty crazy game. Now there's a couple of things to already throw out right away as we are heading into game number 5. First of all, it's insane in and of itself that we're actually ending up on map 5 for this, considering that we had a pretty convincing 2-0 lead for the blue team as this game started. The second thing is, this is a pretty big map. Again, the objective is more or less a combination of Cursed Hollows, Tribute mechanic, and the web weavers that you see on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So Garden of Terror has definitely changed over time. But as we're looking at this is a pretty big map. So Falstad and also Abathar are going to get a lot of side soak value if played correctly in this game. So that's the first thing to acknowledge here right off the bat. Also, while we're talking about it, we have a setup with incredible aggression from the red team. They have Greymane to jump in deep together with an Abathar head. Double Greymane is of course incredibly dangerous. Double Illidan is dangerous. You can't go even for a double Kharazim here. Kharazim is going to benefit from extra auto attack speed. So they have mobility without end here. They will try to aggressively dive the backline onto a single target and just blow that away. And it is going to be to a couple of heroes on the blue team side to really shut that down. First of all, ReGen needs to be absolutely on point with his heals. Ancestral healing and also his shield on 13 are going to be incredibly important. And on top of that, we need to have something along the lines of Falstad and Mal'Ganis trying to work with Mighty Gust and also with the Night Core or Night Rush to ensure that nobody can really home in on a single target and pick it apart completely. And that's pretty much what we're going to talk about for most of the game here, because the red team has to coordinate these attacks. They need to jump in with Illidan, Greymane, and with Kharazim, have a little bit support of Abathar, and if Johanna can lead the entire charge with a good blessed shield right off the bat, then you can get a lot of damage in against any of the squishies. If you get that damage in against, I think, Falstad, Sylvanas, or Rhaegar, then that could be a quick kill here. And Illidan is a hero that really thrives, first of all, on chaos, but also in late-game setups. If he gets some assistance from Abathar, that makes him an absolute dominant hero in the late game. So we'll see if it comes to that. And Illidan wants to chase, obviously. That's why we oftentimes with Illidan talk about distance to safety. At the beginning, when there's only a screen between the two gates, there's not really a whole lot that you can do. You need a little bit more time to work the damage in and chase an opponent down, and it's really beneficial if there's forts already eliminated on the map and maybe only the keeps are standing so that you have more space to work with. So late game for Illidan is going to be great here, especially since he's already looking at the quest talent level 1. Oh, there we go, could that be the kill? Barely not. But especially since we're already looking at a level 1 talent, which is going to benefit him later on thanks to the additional stacks that he's going to get for his auto attacks. Big fight at the top lane right now, and well, as long as Abathar doesn't have a body, this is a 4 versus 5 when it comes to hit point pools. The symbiote is helping out. He is now also our level 7 talent, and this time we see Falstad with hammer gains on level 1, and we have Boomerang for that wave clear on level 7. Big map, and therefore you want to have a bit more momentum around this. Abathar, for the second time that he's now played in the series, goes on level 7 into the Vile Nests. It's all about slowing rotations down. Vision on the map, slow the rotations of your opponent down, try and maybe trap a hero at some point or get an easy grab on it. And it worked incredibly well on Cursed Hollow for them. There were actually multiple camps that they pretty much only were able to grab because of that extra slow. And well, here come the attacks. Kharazim is already jumping in, trying to get a bit of damage through. We have now 12 stacks for Illidan, so he's really working with it. And one of the things that you should never really allow is Illidan to be alone on a lane. So Illidan is at the bot lane, and he gets a bit of Abathar support as the red team is just trying to delay this for as long as they can. Red team has they have zero ideas of actually taking this one. All they want to do is just slow the attack down. Because if they can slow the grab down, then they will get mad value at the bottom of the map, as you can already see. Entire wall is pretty much taken here. And this is one of the plays that you oftentimes will see a team make that has Abathar in the midst. Illidan stayed a bit too long maybe, but is still able to get out. But yes, with Abathar you're trying to delay all of these things a lot. Buy time for your side laner, buy time for Abathar to get to level 10, and then play around that. And that's actually exactly what's happening here right now. Seeds are spawning again, Greymane at the top gets also some assistance. Abathar is all over the place. I mean, you literally have at this point 3 heroes crying for your help. Everybody just says like, dude, I'm taking a camp, I'm attacking a hero. I'm zipping over the wall. So that one backfired slightly. I mean, he still got it, but it looked good. But yeah, 14 stacks for him now. On level 7, he also went into the Thirsting Blade, and well, we get to level 10. And with an earlier level 10, also thanks to that Illidan side soak, we're now looking at them having an advantage and actually making the play for the camp here. There's the hunt, by the way, so even more aggression against single targets. Yes, Mal'Ganis is already dead, and they steal the camp. They steal the camp, and they will be able to get the seeds now. But Illidan goes for the hunt, he goes for the Divine Palm, and look how aggressively they're already moving to the bottom. They're not giving a fuck about that seed. They're just like sitting there like, what the hell are we, gardeners? Screw that shit. Let's go for the fort and take that down. We are pushing, baby. We have level 10. Fawcett is at the top, trying to get some counter pressure. But they're already moving down towards the keep itself. And Fawcett, he needs to get the hell out of there. He needs to just move to the bottom so that he can supply the gust if it's needed. And I think at that pace it will be. Leaves the Siege Giants alone at the top, so they should finish the job eventually. Abathur can maybe help out with it a bit. But keep in mind that he opted in for the slow on the Vile Nests to give them more control over the map. Like here, for example, instead of going for Mule, so the top will fall if nobody takes care of it. Illidan is about to complete his quest, but of course it's going to stack more after he's done with it. But that's going to give him a nice amount of attack damage regardless. Single kill, by the way. Mal'Ganis is the only one that has fallen so far. 6 minutes and 50 seconds in. It's over. Illidan is sitting at the side lane. He has the global. He can always jump onto a target in the back line with a hunt, and then it's all up to the rest of the team to follow up on that call. And here we go. They go for Rhaegar. Rhaegar gets attacked. Blessed Shield is out. Ancestral Healing is in, and Funds is isolated. Gets palmed. The palm procs, and bam! The kill against the bird. The bird down, and they're looking for more. But they have to be careful, because the blue team is looking for the counter-aggression. They're looking for the counter-kill, and they get it against Illidan. Blue team bullying the blind man. Unheard of. Unheard of. So, 11 against 11 on the levels. 2 kills against 1. But there's the seeds already spawning. Alright, following up towards the top. That one has to be defeated first, and that's where Greymane is headed, with the Siege Giants also being on lane. It's obviously a big threat towards the keep, so you need to deal with that immediately. And here we go. Still having our play at the bottom of the map, with Falstad starting to move through. Helping one of the, I was about to say Web Weavers out, but yeah, one of the Garden Terrors out. Same play in the middle, heavy aggression there. And in we go. They need to defend against this. They're going to lose a fort at the mid lane. They might lose the one at the bottom of the map. So the structural position is all of a sudden really bad for Team ReGen. They have at least one thing going for them. The Illidan finally has that distance to safety increased on the opponent's team side. So he has a little bit more space to work with. But I don't think that was necessarily what he was thinking about when we talked about that earlier. So bottom Web Weaver is still in, or bottom Terror up at the top. They're thinking about a fight, but they're not picking it just yet. Illidan jumps in a little bit. Right now, he is actually sitting on 44 extra attack damage. Yep. And towards the bot lane, that's where we're now seeing another Terror being attacked. With level 13 talents, as I said previously, keep Rhaegar in mind. He's going to get the shield now. And that will help a lot once that once that Illidan makes the approach. Once that you see that he's hunting in, you know which target they're going for. So every single time you see that, Rhaegar immediately knows what to do. Lightning Shield, bam! Has to be there immediately. And he needs to get also the Ancestral ready. So, yep, there's only 113 talent. That makes sense for him at this point. I mean, generally speaking, there's only 113 talent that makes sense on Rhaegar, and that is Earth Shield. It's just too good to give up. They have that now. Illidan is already sitting at the top. Abathur needs to help out here. They're making the play for the Siege Giants though. And it seems like they have to move away from it. Funds is jumping out. And the camp is stolen. Nicely done. And what a gust into the wall. Carbon is already locked in. Is trying to make his way out. The Blessed Shield actually missing at this point. Yeah, definitely a misclick on the side of Johanna. And now after they lost the Siege Giants, they're also going to lose the Night Camp. There is a lot of momentum right now for the Anti-Clown Association. You look at that kill count, and yes, the red team is ahead. They're also ahead in experience, but then a quick glance onto the minimap reveals very quickly that on the structural point, The Anti-Clown Association has taken a big dump on Team ReGen and is going to continue that because Sylvanas is already disabling Tower's top side, and this is a heavy push with the double camp that they're executing right now. Illidan is forced towards the top, but that experience lead is still there, and that could turn things eventually. Nice lockdown against Greymane though. Illidan comes in, they try to go for the insta-kill, but there it is, the Ancestral! And Rega keeps himself alive. The bird flies away as Illidan wants to get the kill. Once more, Greymane and Karazim are also helping out. Lupus is a little bit low. Everybody's low on the red team side, and they are in mad trouble, especially since it looks like Sonya is going to get the drop against Greymane. Oh my god, he actually gets out, and Illidan kills the doggy. Illidan kills the Chihuahua, takes him apart, and he is not stopping here, is he now? Flies away as Sylvanas jumps out. Insane mobility on both teams, but Illidan is starting to claim victories in these team fights, and they are nearly on level 16. It is dangerous. It's so weird because you look at the game and how it goes, and you're immediately thinking, well, blue team looks pretty good. And then you realize all of a sudden that the red team is gaining more and more momentum here, and all of a sudden it's like, well, but can they turn it? And honestly, it starts to look like this. 16 talents are in. There's a kill against Mal'Ganis. Illidan with a very, very quick hunt made that possible. Abathar, what the fuck? Bombard, Strain, and Locust Brood. How the hell do you end up with those talents?
Smoke weed every day.
Well, I guess that's one option, but I honestly don't know what to say about that. You literally have an Illidan, Greymane, Karazim setup, and you're not going into a symbiote build? That's wild. That's really wild. I'm not sure what exactly is happening there. But either way, let's jump in. Abathar, I think Abathar is actually a bot. They're winning this with a bot! I mean, that would explain a lot here, because I honestly didn't look at the Abathar talents up to this point after we've seen him take the copy on level 10. But that would explain a lot in this game. If Abathar seriously dropped, and it seems like he did, then they are playing this for quite some time now in a 4 versus 5, and they're still doing extremely well with it, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, that bot is fucking trolling. Nice job on the AI, Blizzard. I mean, when was the last time that we actually had those two talents in the meta? Was that 2 years ago or so? I feel like some guys on the coding team could have maybe gone over and maybe switched the talents that Abathar takes in these setups. But nope. And of course he's going to get mad value out of those talents too, just sitting here tight in his base the entire time. So yeah. We have AIs beating StarCraft 2 Grandmasters, we have AIs taking down top Dota teams, and in Heroes of the Storm we can't even teach the AI to not pick a shitty talent on Abathar. So, yeah. Feels bad, man. 58 stacks now on Illidan, by the way. Well, and in we go. We have still potential fights happening, and Abathar, at least in those fights, can help out with the symbiote, I suppose. But this is also getting a bit more tricky now for the blue team. If you know you go up against someone that is playing with a bot and you're still having trouble in these team fights, that's not really a good statement for you. In comes the fight, good isolation on Karazim. Illidan comes in, starts to battle it out. Where is that symbiote when you fucking need it? There's the copy, but the bird is already dead. Illidan! He's chasing them. Illidan is on the chase. Funz is alive. No, he's not. Funz is down, and now the palm, it doesn't get procced, and that's the end of him. Or is it? Greymane! He goes down. For a second, it looked like he could at least get the counter kill, but no. Johanna is still on the run. Abathar, helpful as usual, with the quick shield right here. In they go. Still fighting it out as the seeds are being taken. Johanna falls eventually. But yeah, Abathar still a bot. So I'm not quite sure what exactly happened there, but I assume that the player, as he disconnected, wasn't able to reconnect. The bottom keep, on the other hand, that one has already been destroyed down here. So the red team is actually opening up the map pretty significantly. The keep at the bot side has been eliminated. The only fort that still stands is that one all the way up to the top. And the blue team goes straight through the middle. But I gotta say, given how this game goes, honestly, if that bot wouldn't have disconnected, if we had an actual Abathar in here that would put the symbiote onto Illidan, I don't want to know what Funds would have been able to pull off so far already. He's done, I mean, he's managed quite a few kills here. But now this is getting tricky for Team ReGen. They're in a really weird spot. And it's a bit of a shame that it ends this way. Also, Abathar, if he doesn't pay attention, is going to fall. He's a bit out there. Keep at the mid lane is now taken apart. Both teams are looking towards level 20. And Abathar, little slugger, is just sitting tight and saying like, okay boys, I got this. But look at this down here. Another push straight in for the next keep. Illidan has his own ult up. They need a team fight victory. I mean, if they take a team fight and Illidan gets on the opponent's core, he can pretty much take it down. With or without Abathar, I would assume, but it is going to be tough. Especially if the blue team hits level 20 now first. And the blue team is, of course, trying to end this right now. I mean, they don't want to risk to lose against a team that is running a bot. So that's the next problem here. It's a little bit of a shame that something like this happens in game number 5 of the series, but still. In comes the attack. Start against Johanna. And that's the bot. Sorry, not the bot, but the copy of the bot down. Which is probably for the better, because now we can focus on the symbiote. So I guess that's a plus. There's the level 20 talents, and yes, Abathar with the locust nest. Oh, it's fantastic. Locust nest and stays in the base. Okay, mad value. Mad value is gonna be had, guys. Look at this. They're traveling all the way. All the way. It's going to be great. Look at that value. Look at that value of the Locust Swarm. They're traveling through the entire lane. They're traveling through the entire lane, ready to get some damage in, ready to finally do some work. Fantastic build. Yeah, Blizzard's bots and the talents they take. Shouldn't really be that hard to just model all of the heroes just for once after a meta build. That seems like a pretty okay move to make, but it's apparently too difficult. Again, you have to have a little bit of understanding here. I mean, Blizzard is a small indie company, so resources are limited, and that's always been a little bit of a problem. As I heard, there's also not too much space in the Janitor Leoric's closet, which is now the main workstation for the Heroes of the Storm development team. That's why the Janitor is now actually available in the game, in case that you're wondering. Blizzard had to release it and it needed space for the team. And, well, here we go. We have currently Abathar still sitting topside, strong as ever, in the base, protecting that final keep. Abathar sits at the keep, the only keep that's still alive. Coincidence? I don't think so. But in comes the team fight. This is the one that really matters. 69 auto attack damage now for Illidan. They need a kill and they need it soon. Here comes the copy. Always copy the tank, boys. Kappa, kappa, kappa. There's 2 top damage dealers that would make magnificent copies, but yes, always go for the Johanna. And Johanna goes for the objective. Because if anything is important in this game, then it's the objective. While the team fight is raging right next to you, you go for the objective. Well, then they try and go again. Alrighty, where's the Simid when you need it? Oh, Karazim, no. Karazim, Illidan, and Johanna, all 3 down, no palm. And, well, here we go. This seems to be the end of game number 5. A shame. Honestly, a shame. Unfortunately that it happens. Again, pauses don't show up in replays. And this is obviously not casted live, which is also why we don't have the drafts. And the time zones screw that up a little bit. So I can only assume that they paused for a while. The player couldn't make its way back. And that is unfortunately how game number 5 ends. The Anti-Clown Association wins against Team ReGen, who have to run the final map with the bot since level 10. And that is game. The Anti-Clown Association with the first victory in the best of 5 series here for Season 2 in Division S North America.